The Unending Mystery: A Journey Through Labyrinths and Mazes by David Willis McCullough. Chapter 1: The Image. The design may look complicated, but with a little practice a child could scratch it on a wall in seconds. The long arcs to the left and right, the sudden reversals in direction, a path that leads back and forth, inward and outward, until it finally reaches the center. It seems complex, with each side mirroring the other, but you can trace it freehand in the bare earth or on a sandy beach in just the time it takes to drag a stick across the ground. Or you could use a trick, a mnemonic device, draw a plus sign and put a dot in each of the four corners. Different people might see this image differently, as basic geometry or a magical device or an emblematic representation of the cross of Christ defended by the apostles Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I'm referencing a different book called What Does the Bible Really Teach regarding the cross. Why true Christians do not use the cross in worship. The cross is loved and respected by millions of people. The Encyclopedia Britannica calls the cross the principal symbol of the Christian religion. Nevertheless, true Christians do not use the cross in worship. Why not? An important reason is that Jesus Christ did not die on a cross. The Greek word generally translated cross is steros. It basically means an upright pale or stake. The Companion Bible points out steros never means two pieces of timber placed across one another at any angle. This is nothing in the Greek of the There is nothing in the Greek of the New Testament even to imply two pieces of timber. In several texts, Bible writers use another word for the instrument of Jesus' death. It is the Greek word xylon, which is pronounced Xylon. Acts chapter 5 verse 30, chapter 10 verse 39, 13 verse 29 of Acts, Galatians chapter 3 verse 13, 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 24. This word simply means timber or a stick, club, or tree. Explaining why a simple stake was often used for execution, the book Das Kreuz and Die Kreuzigung, DASKREUZ, UNDDIEKREUZIGUNG, The Cross and the Crucifixion by Herman Folda states, trees are not everywhere available at the places chosen for public execution, so a simple beam was sunk into the ground. On this, the outlaws with hands raised upward, and often also with their feet, were bound or nailed. The most convincing proof of all, however, comes from God's word. The Apostle Paul says, Christ purchased us, releasing us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse instead of us, because it is written, accursed is every man hung upon a stake, a tree. King James Version. Galatians chapter 3 verse 13. Here Paul quotes Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 23 and 22 verse 23, which clearly refers to a stake, not a cross. Since such a means of execution made the person a curse, it would not be proper for Christians to decorate their homes with images of Christ on a cross. There is no evidence that for the first 300 years after Christ's death, those claiming to be Christian used the cross in worship. In the 4th century, however, pagan Emperor Constantine became a convert to apostate Christianity and promoted the cross as its symbol. Whatever Constantine's motives, the cross had nothing to do with Jesus Christ. The cross is in fact pagan in origin. The New Catholic Encyclopedia admits The cross is found in both pre-Christian and non-Christian cultures. Various other authorities have linked the cross with nature worship and pagan sex rites. Why then was the pagan symbol promoted? Apparently to make it easier for pagans to accept Christianity. Nevertheless, devotion to any pagan symbol is clearly condemned by the Bible. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 on through 18. The scriptures also forbid all forms of idolatry. Exodus chapter 20, verse 4 and 5. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 14. With very good reason, therefore, true Christians do not use the cross in worship.